Community Awards Luncheon. My name is Ken Elkins. I'm the board president of the Kensington Valley Chamber of Commerce. I want to welcome you all here. This is becoming quite an event. It's probably my favorite event. I probably say this every year. It's a great opportunity to showcase businesses in the area and great things they're doing, as well as individuals. You hear about all the bad stuff that you see on television. These are some great individuals that are doing things at the community level and helping one another. I think it's a great event. It's a great thing every year that we get to showcase individuals and businesses that are doing some great things in the community. First, what I'd like to do though is this all gets together by our board and our ambassadors. And our executive director, Andrea Meyer, does a wonderful job of putting these events together. So I want to first acknowledge her. I'm not sure where she's at, but thank you. She's still at work over there. And what I'd like to do now is recognize our 2018 board of directors. And if they would, after I call their name, please stand up. First, we have our chamber treasurer, which is Sue White of Rockford Chimney. We have our chamber vice president, Troy Powe of WonderJump. Our chamber secretary is Corey Bala of the South Lyon Hotel. We also have David Trent from Salem Township trustee. Ron Moore of Healing Solution Massage. Peter Alexander of Citizen Bank. And Barry Paxton of Right at Home. And we're also missing two board members tonight. Sharon Scoffins of Flooring Your Way couldn't be with us today. And we have Bob Langen of Bagley and Langen, who's not here as well today. And if you haven't heard the story, please pray for him and his family. They're going through a difficult time right now. But both of them couldn't be here today, but also help out tremendously for our board as well. Okay, again, I want to thank all these individuals for your dedication to the chamber. I know we meet once a month, and all these activities kind of brainstorm and come from these individuals that help and volunteer their time for all our events. In addition to them, we also have our ambassadors. This is a group of members that continuously work and really are the legs of the chamber. Some of our ambassadors are here today, and I ask that they just stand together and I'd like to acknowledge them. Okay, next what I'd like to do is take a few moments and recognize some of our VIPs that are here today. These are some individuals that help out, obviously, their time and efforts throughout the community. So please join me in extending a special welcome to each of our honorees and their guests first. But first we have our VIPs from the state, county, and finally our local governments. First we have Dylan Breen, who is representing State Senator Mike Powe today. Phil Weibert, our Oakland County Commissioner. The Honorable Travis Reed from the 52nd District Court. From Salem Township, we have David Trent. Phil Copeland. Is Phil here? No. Oh, there you go. And also from Salem Township trustee, Dell Wensley. From the city of South Lyon, we have Maggie Cruiswell. And Steve Kennedy. From Lyon Township, we have Patty Carcone, Michelle Cash, Tina Archer, and Township Supervisor John Doe. All right, we're going to take a quick break to serve lunch, so hopefully they're ready for us. And then in about 20 minutes, a half an hour, we're going to come back and do our presentations. So I believe it's going to be plated. If you need to get a drink, now's the time, and they'll be bringing lunch out right now. So we'll be right back. This is something that's kind of still in its infancy, but it's events like our golf outing and our blues, brews, and brats. We try to make awareness of it and try to get donations. It's a program that we started a couple years ago, Andrea's idea, and it's starting to take roots. And today, we have the opportunity to award a couple of participants this year. So the Chamber has chosen 2 local seniors to receive the scholarship. As I mentioned, it's in its infancy, but we anticipate growth as we raise awareness of the opportunity. Here to present the 2 very exuberant young people is Chamber Director Andrea Meyer.
I don't know if that's for everything. I'm going to read. Okay. Well, like Ken said, a few years ago we decided to begin this small scholarship, and we're now in our 3rd year. It's really an honor for me to receive, and all of us to receive these in the office and get to look through them. We've got a really tremendous youth, throughout the South Lyon area, and I think everyone here on Salem should be proud of, what we're putting out as a community. So I wanted to say that. We received a good number of scholarship applicants this year. Sometimes they're last minute, sometimes they come trickling in, but they came in and they were great. It was fun to read them. We've got 2 scholarships that we'll be handing out today. The first, she was unable to make it. She had a sports event. So Abigail O'Reilly is the young woman's name. She sends her apologies for missing. But I want to tell you a little bit about her, just so you know. Abigail O'Reilly is one of the 2018 Scholarship Award winners, and although she is unable to be here today, I did want to just sing her praise. So throughout her school year, Abby has participated in the Salvation Army Red Pedal program. I'm going to read these off. Relay for Life, South Lyon High School Pride Team, Meals on Wheels, the Alzheimer's Society Walk. She was a part-time middle school swim coach, and Abby volunteered at Abbey Park. Abby feels that being active within the community is important as it affords her the opportunity to give back and support her community. Abby is a member of the National Honor Society, a 4-year high school awardee, a 4-year conference scholar athlete awardee. She earned the Academic All-American Award for the National Interscholastic Swim Coaches Association. She's a member of the South Lyon High School Swim and Dive Team, 4-year varsity swimmer and team captain. She was a member of the South Lyon High School tennis team, 3-year varsity player and team captain. I'll be introducing her to my son when I find her. Abby will attend University of South Florida or LSU this fall and will study pre-med. I'm introducing her to my son. She's not here today, but I'd like us all just to give Abby a round of applause. And now I'd like to invite Andrew Paxton to join me at the podium. Here he comes. Don't be nervous. Should there be music? All right, well, Andrew, when we opened up Andrew's package, so many things jumped off the pages. Summing them up now, I feel, will be a chore. Andrew is a South Lyon native. He's a graduating senior at Catholic Central, where he is graduating with honors. He currently holds a 4.2 GPA. I have 2 degrees, and I tiptoed into the 3 realm at one point, I don't remember. During his time as an undergraduate, Andrew, along with the rest of his family, has placed a strong emphasis on studying the Chinese language. As a freshman, Andrew won the divisional championship of the China Quiz Bowl, sponsored by Wayne State University, and is currently the team captain. Say thank you, Andrea, in Chinese. Thank you. Andrew is the president of the Catholic Central Accounting Club. He is a member of DECA, earning qualification for state competition. He's the vice president of the Chinese Club. He founded the Accounting Club. He's a student council member and a current member of the National Honor Society. Now tell me I'm really good looking in Chinese.
Oh, 你很可爱。
Andrew studied honors plane geometry and trigonometry. I'm a biologist, and I don't know what that is. And AP calculus, and his professor described him as having an exceptional work ethic and an appreciation for education that exceeds most students his own age. Despite all of his academia on his plate, Andrew has applied himself as a seasoned varsity athlete. As a four-year member of the Catholic Central football team, Andrew achieved the honor of team captain this year. Further, he has been offered a position on the Dartmouth College football team and will enter the university. Go ahead, that's impressive. Andrew will enter the university this fall where he will study economics with a minor in Chinese. Outside of the school walls, Andrew participates in his parish's activities and he is an avid boxer. He has done local community service work at Active Faith in South Lyon and Focus Hope in Detroit. Andrew has been described by his teachers as humble, helpful, modest, and kind. I'm going to end this with a quote from one of his instructors that really popped out in his application. She said, "While modesty and friendliness, such as that possessed by Andrew Paxton, are becoming rare characteristics in today's society, I do think people still value these traits, and I have no doubt that they will take Andrew a long way in life." So Andrew, it's my great pleasure to present you with the 2008 Scholarship Award on behalf of the Kensington Valley Chamber of Commerce.
All right, now we're going to celebrate the accomplishments of a distinguished group of volunteer leaders for their outstanding service to the community served by the Chamber. Green Oak, Lyon Township, New Hudson, Salem, and South Lyon. Chamber ambassadors are a group of motivated, enthusiastic, and articulate businessmen and women who serve as the backbone of the Chamber's membership retention program. They represent the Chamber at many civic and social functions. This award is presented to the ambassador who puts forth extraordinary effort on behalf of the Chamber. It's my pleasure to welcome our next presenter and former Ambassador of the Year recipient, Peter Alexander of Citizens Bank, to present the award.
Today I have the great pleasure to introduce the Ambassador of the Year, Joe Knopp. Joe has become a trusted friend, and he always is there if you ever need him. He has stand out in the crowd. He brings a friendly, warm feeling to any occasion. I would think most of our chamber members can recall his line, "It's not just a piece of paper, but a piece of mind." So I'd like to give a little background on Joe. Joe is a certified insurance counselor with a career in the insurance industry spanning nearly 40 years. He works with the best insurance companies doing businesses in Michigan to find the right protection at the right price for his clients. In addition to helping people manage their insurance risks, Joe is active with the Kensington Chamber of Commerce as an ambassador, acts as a member of the Chamber's marketing distribution team, and works as a leader of the Chamber's member referral group that meets bi-weekly to build familiarity with members' respective products, services, and refer business opportunities to each other on the basis of trust that those referrals will be treated with professionalism and value. Additionally, Joe is active with several social organizations, including the Ann Arbor Ski and Social Club, where he sits on the board of directors. He organizes and leads various bicycling trips, kayak events, including an annual Gilligan Islands theme 3-hour tour down the Huron River with a group of 50 people. Do you see a float? And many other social activities throughout the year. While his business activities involve him with several other chambers, including the Pitney Putnam Hamburg Hell Chamber, where he sits on the board of directors, Joe has a special fondness in his heart for the people of Kensington Valley and is in process now of finding a new home in the Lyon or Salem Townships. Joe worships at 242 Community Church and is active politically as a precinct delegate, where his campaign slogan is, "You can't knock knock." So with great pleasure, so can we give Joe a great round of applause, because he's what our chamber is all about. So Joe, can you come up here, please?
Thanks, Peter. You know, when Andrea first walked into one of the member referral group meetings that we had a couple months ago with congratulatory balloons in her hand, I didn't know what it was all about. I thought maybe at first that she was going to congratulate someone who was going to be having a baby. I was pretty sure it wasn't me, because I'm only in my second trimester. But when she announced that she was going to be honoring me with this prestigious award, I was shocked. I was thrilled, didn't expect it. I really just like working with this chamber. It is my favorite chamber. I am involved in different chambers of commerces, and this one is the friendliest, has the most esprit de corps, the most camaraderie of any of them. I really love this community. In fact, we have bought a house that we have an auto up on right now, and so we're just down the road at Tanglewood, so we're pretty excited about that. We're going to become members of this community, and we love it. So, South Lyon, are you ready for me? I'm ready for you. Thanks.
Okay, next up we have the Business and the Organizations of the Year. Award recognizes those in the chamber community for noteworthy accomplishments, long-standing contributions to the community, and a significant community service effort. These organizations will have made a major visible contribution in the past year that reflects growth and achievement, innovation, creativity, or community involvement. They also contribute and promote the economic growth, stability, and improvement of the area which the chamber serves, and gives of themselves and or staff in time and resources to the chamber community. This year, the chamber is elected to present awards for both Organization and Business of the Year. First up, I'd like to invite Barry Paxton from right at home to join me at the podium.
Hi, everyone. It gives me great pleasure also to introduce the 2018 Business of the Year, and that's Martin Hardware. I'd like to ask Bill, Bob, and Donna, if you could please come up. I'd love to say a few words about you. They're celebrating their 50th year in business this year. And it's been tremendous. Congratulations. As they come up to the front, I'm going to just read a little information about them and the history of the business. And there's probably so many that have been impacted positively by their business over time. It's exciting, and certainly we're honored to have you all here with us today as well. Bud and Donna Martin were working at Nugent's Hardware on Lake Street in 1968 when the Gates Hardware at 105 North Lafayette became available. They purchased the store on February 1st, and it was an immediate success. Back in 1972, a year after I was born, old Bob came aboard part-time, and in 1978, it became full-time. 16-year-old Bill followed in 1982, and then full-time in 1984. As time went on, the old store began bulging at the seams and had very little parking. So in 1987, they moved to their current location on Pontiac Trail, jumping from 1,600 square foot property to over 8,400 square feet. Bud and Donna had retired in 1998, so Bob and Bill took over full-time in the business. Bud had passed away, unfortunately, in 2003 at the age of 68. Donna still visits the store on a daily basis and runs errands when needed. 2018 again marks the 50th anniversary, and they're the longest running hardware store in South Lyon history. Donna, Bob, and Bill can take full credit for the business's success. However, Bud was the original key, as he was one of the most popular and successful merchants in the town during his tenure running the business. So congratulations on behalf of the South Lyon Chamber of Commerce on being recognized as the 2018 Business of the Year. Congratulations. I'm sure they're going to like some pictures. Oh, let's get them first.
Look at me too, please, look at me.
Okay, I have the distinguished honor of presenting our next award, and I'm kind of excited to do so because I've taken advantage of a lot of their activities that they have up there. But our next one goes to Leo, which many of you hopefully saw the lion that came strolling around. That's their mascot. Leo stands for Lion Events Organization, and I love this line, but it all started with a kite. I don't know how many people in the room have been to Kite Festival, but that's what kind of started off. Kind of show of hands. I got 3 girls, and we've all participated up there, and it's been a great event. The one thing you'll notice when you come up to the township offices, if you've ever been up on the hill, it can be very calm and quiet down here. But the minute you get up there, there's immediately a breeze. And you notice it when you're playing on the ball fields, you notice it with the disc golf that's up there now too. And that's what kind of inspired this. Basically, the offices are located right there in Grand River, Ashton Memorial Parkway Complex. And just as I'm going to read a couple of these for you. A steady easterly wind blows off of Kent Lake and grows with the strength of the 96 freeway, creating an uplift over the park. For years, people have been gathering in the park to take advantage of this wind, fly kites, launch hot air balloons, or even fly ultralight machines. And I'm sure if you live in the township or the city, you see the hot air balloons all the time. I think that's one of the things that makes our community so neat, that you could potentially have one land in your backyard, which on my occasion has happened several times. The first Lyon Township Kite Festival was held Saturday, May 2nd in 2009. This year represents their 10th anniversary. The actual Lyon Events Organization mission is to support the continued development of recreational opportunities and facilities located within the charter township of Lyon. They accomplish this by partnering with the Lyon Township staff to host recreational events like the Kite Festival, Summerfest, Winterfest, and in 2014 an Ethnic Festival. Although the Lyon Events Organization was founded in 2014, its roots go back to 2009 with the inaugural Lyon Township Kite Festival. Many of the current Leo members and volunteers were on the festival planning committee for that event. Thus, in the last 10 years, a total of 7,870 volunteer hours were expended on festival planning and execution. Funds to pay for the various events held during the festivals, i.e. the pony merry-go-rounds, the free kites for the kids, are raised by attracting local and regional businesses and sponsors. Many of the businesses that we represent in the Kensington Valley Chamber of Commerce obviously help the fundraising with the event. Approximately $300,000 has been provided in the last 10 years by the community businesses. The success of the Leo Group could not be accomplished without focused and committed leadership. To this end, it's my pleasure to present the Organization of the Year Award to President of Leo, Jim Chuck.
Thank you, Ken. I'll be quick. I won't be redundant. There was a lot said there. This organization, well, I have members out. We have members out there. Would you please stand up? If you're in Leo, please stand up and be recognized. Come on, Troy, Brenda. These are the people that make this happen. I've often said a president just runs a meeting. We couldn't do it without our core volunteers. And we have come a long way, as Ken mentioned. Our 10th year anniversary is coming up. Many of the people in this room, business owners, have helped us with sponsorships, and I couldn't I have to recognize the township. In the lean years, the township was there for us. They supported us, they saw our vision. And now we're becoming of age, we can give a little bit back to the community. And it's a great organization. Our 10th year is coming up, and this year it's going to be highlighted by Friday night light kite flying. And we even have groups coming in from Montreal, Canada. So if you haven't been there, please come out and support us. You'll have a great time. Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. Next up, we have Volunteer of the Year. The Volunteer of the Year is something that we added last year, and we've had tremendous community volunteers, but one has really stood out in the community, and we're very excited to recognize this individual for his tireless work. Please welcome Ronnie Moore with Healing Solution Massage to present the award.
Good afternoon, folks. This is I would call it a Cliff's Notes version of Troy's history. Okay? Troy's been a resident of New Hudson for about 28 years. He has his associate's degree in business management and has held many positions helping companies throughout his career. Troy started WonderJump in 2004. This business provides many opportunities to help organizations and bring joy to thousands of children in need. WonderJump has provided him an opportunity to help organizations with fundraising as well. Troy consistently hires young adults and strives to teach them good work ethics through hard work. He has been a board member of the South Lyon Area Pumpkin Fest for several years, a community member of the Lions Events organization, and board member of the Kensington Valley Chamber of Commerce for many years as well. He has fostered and adopted out many dogs through a local animal rescue group and has been known as a foster failure, as he has adopted a couple of his fosters himself. A former member of the Lyon Township Downtown Development Authority, and previously was a Rotarian and former member of the Lyon Township Fire Department. Troy is engaged to Nancy Costa, and he has two children, Dane, 32, and Holly, 31. It is my honor to present to you Troy Powe, Kensington Valley Volunteer of the Year.
Come over here, I can't see you.
Good reason for that. Yeah.
Thank you, Ron, for that brief and wonderful introduction. I'm not sure what happened to the 15-page introduction I sent you, but it's probably intercepted by Andrea. I've said this several times that volunteering is a very selfish thing to do, and it's very selfish because the return on investment of few hours is so overwhelming. So the more we give, the more we really get back. So I enjoy it as much as I can. It's great being a part of this community, and to receive an award from Ron, who is a true volunteer, a hero, a Vietnam veteran. It's an awesome opportunity to receive that award from Ron. And I just want to say thank you for the acknowledgement, but I really accept this award on behalf of all of our volunteers here. So thank you so much, and I'd like to give a round of applause to everybody here who volunteers.
Every time somebody comes up, there's a shuffle on my paper, so you gotta bear with me for a minute. I just want to make a quick comment that someone else that didn't get recognized for the Leo organization that's here, John Bell. He's been instrumental in how everything operates. I know John I think he has his hand on just everything that goes on up the Lyon Township. So thank you very much for your support. Next, we're going to go on to our Citizen of the Year. Our Citizen of the Year recognizes an individual or individuals who serve as an inspiration to others and are recognized by the Chamber's community as unselfishly giving his or her time and talent to produce a lasting benefit to the area. The Citizen of the Year consistently serves the area with outstanding ability and dedication, have voluntarily given their time, talent, and energy without remuneration, and have a commitment to the well-being and quality of the life in the area. I would like to invite David Trent from Salem Township trustee to the podium.
Thank you, Ken. It's indeed a great honor and privilege to be able to introduce our Citizen of the Year, Gary Whittaker. Many of you know is the proprietor, along with his wife Sherry, of Three Cedars Farm, and also the elected Salem Township Supervisor. Before I get too far into my comments, let me digress for just a moment. As I was reaching out to some of our consultants to make sure that they were aware of this recognition we were going to bestow upon Gary Whittaker, I reached out to Jerry Fisher, who is one of our special lawyers and attorneys in Salem Township, to advise him of the event and to make sure that he could come if it was open on his schedule. And he said, David, I am aware of that. I just got off the phone with the other township attorney at Plato and was given an invite, and it's on my calendar. I'm going to attend. Now, Jerry and I have had some occasion to do some work together. Jerry has a long career in the legal profession. He's also a professor at Cooley Law School. And so we get to call him professor also. And so when I mentioned this to Jerry and said, plus I have the high honor of introducing Jerry for the award. And because of our interface on past projects in the past, Jerry said, are you going to be as long-winded as you have been in other forums where we've met together? And I said, Jerry, I've got a 30-minute speech and I'm working diligently to get it down to 28. And he gave me a friendly reminder as I was introduced that the clock is ticking and he expects me to be done in less than 30. But in respect to everybody here, I'm going to do my best to be as brief as possible, which might be a large task based on past history. So let me get my glasses out here and read some information. Now, based on Jerry's comment, some people, if you had a poor assessment of your self-esteem, you might think that that was a jab in the tummy. But I try to be very optimistic. I took it as a compliment because I assumed that I had valuable information to share and I needed to take as much time as possible to get the information out. And so there's many fine many fine people in our community who could be recognized for this award. So the one question one could ask is, what qualifies this individual, Mr. Whittaker, to receive this recognition, and where could one find the information in a short time frame to establish his background? And as I contemplated that and trying to establish some information to share with you today, I have found that in the course of my life, there are many times characters in motion picture who provide answers to life's perplexing questions. So I had to look no further than to the political stage of River City, Iowa. The infamous Mayor Shin, who in the movie The Music Man implored his school board members to investigate traveling musical salesman, Professor Harold Hill. And Mayor Shin uttered these three classic words: check his credentials. So we're going to do a little checking of Mr. Whittaker's credentials today. So, one could look at public records, A lot of people know that he's an elected official, he's a businessman, but I thought, boy, wouldn't it be nice if one could find a document that would put it all together in a very easy manner to research. And so I was in Ann Arbor and visiting a very small bookstore that has a lot of unique manuscripts. And I went up to the bookstore owner and I said, do you have anything on Gary Whittaker from Salem Township? And he said, well, it just so happens, hot off the press, the first manuscript, The Life and Times of Gary Whittaker. Just off the press. And so hot off the press that we didn't even have a chance to get it to the bindery yet. And here's the back cover, a very nice picture of the couple, the proprietor of Three Cedars Farm, Gary and his wife Sherry. And so I started thumbing through this, and I thought, boy, this could really be helpful in my presentation today. And so, big document. It's 100 pages in length. And there's a table of contents, and I discovered that there's an executive summary. The executive summary starts on page 5 and ends on page 98. So it's a very short read. We'll be able to get through it, no problem at all. But as I was going through the table of contents, I found that there's another item where it says, if Gary Whittaker should ever be recognized for a community award, refer to the last 2 pages. So we'll be very short and brief now that we have that cleared up. So when you get a nice manuscript like this that hasn't been to the binder, there is the book cover that covers the book, this hardcover edition. And here's what we find inside the book cover. It says, Gary Whittaker has lived in the South Lyon, Salem Township area for 32 years and has been married to his high school sweetheart Sherry for 44 years. Together they have raised 3 children who are all here today, Jamie, Carrie, and Travis. And between those 3 kids, they have father and mother, 12 grandchildren who all live in the area. Gary has been involved in the packaging business for 42 years and currently is the Vice President of Industrial Packaging located in Detroit. In 2003, the Whittakers started Three Cedars Farm, which is a seasonal business and has become a major destination for agritourism in the autumn and Christmas season. In short, Gary's world can be summed up by the following 7 P's. Pallets, pumpkins, people, photography, politician, which could also be synonymous with public servant, philanthropy, and proselytizing. Now, Gary has, and he and his wife have established Three Cedars Farm in 2003. They bought that property in the late 90s. The house was in disrepair and the barn was a shambles. And it took a few years, but they've got it spick and span now. In 2003, decided that it's time to try to do something with this over 50 acres of land that we own in Salem Township. And so they created Three Cedars Farm. It started out as just a U-pit pumpkin patch and a corn maze. And over the course of time, it's been added on to where there's a donut hut. They sell cider and donuts. You can pick pumpkins. You can take a tractor ride. There's a playground area for the kids. And a couple years ago, there was a small electric train ride that was instituted. And it's just a great family-oriented business that thousands of people come to every year. Their motto for that establishment is a place to make memories. And that certainly is true. And one way to measure the success of this business is how many likes are there on their Facebook page. I took a look. I was shocked. Over 18,000 likes on their Facebook page for Three Cedars Farm. And so it's just a genuine place that's very unique. I've described it as a jewel in our community. And I'll even take another step forward and say it's like the Disney World of Salem Township. With everything that's been implemented there, the number of people that attend in the fall and Christmas season, and it's just something that they've created where people just want to come to the country they put Salem Township on the map by that business. And I'll touch on some of the benefits that our community has enjoyed because of their success of that business. A lot of you know that Gary is the Township Supervisor. And one of the things I want to talk about briefly is people. Gary has a unique leadership style. He believes in reconciling differences. That's often referred to in the Bible as reconciling to God. Gary has a gift of reconciling people to each other, and he's also not afraid to share his faith and proselytize people as well. One of the unique things about Gary is his openness and transparency. He has put in the township newsletter since the day that he got elected his phone number. Everybody in Salem Township knows Gary Whittaker's phone. He says at the end of his quarterly column, if you have any concerns or questions, feel free to call me. You can reach me at 248-99, but it's in there. He's not afraid to give it out. And lots of people take advantage of that openness and transparency. It's amazing how many people contact Gary Whittaker day and night because he makes himself accessible. And because he knows, everybody knows his phone number, they're not afraid to call. You know, very seldom do I, as a trustee, get phone calls from citizens. Our clerk, Dell, that's with us today, he might get some phone calls from people that have questions about an election or voting. Everybody likes to call the treasurer to complain about their taxes. In Salem Township, we don't have that happen very often because most of you know trash is king in Salem, and we don't have a local property tax millage in Salem Township. So you folks in the city of South Lyon, if you can find some empty space, create a landfill. It'll really help your revenue. But everybody likes to call with the other litany of problems that citizens have. They like to call the person whose title says supervisor. So whether it's noise, barking dogs, trash, all the other numerous issues that people have in life, they'll call Gary. And Gary will frequently ask when a person calls in about a neighbor, have you talked to your neighbor about this problem? And the typical response is, no, I haven't talked to that honorary so-and-so for the last 10 years. Gary will then suggest that discussing the concern with the neighbor is a good place to start. And then he offers to facilitate that get-together if necessary. Remarkably, more often than not, it results in a kumbaya moment, and the differences get resolved to everyone's satisfaction. I recall one story that Gary shared with me where there were several neighbors that were being affected by one particular property owner. He ended up facilitating a meeting at somebody's home that night, and after 2 hours, everybody walked out of there shaking hands. The meeting started off very contentiously, people very upset about what was going on. And at the end of the night, there was a couple of ladies that were part of that meeting that were actually in tears because of what was facilitated that night by Mr. Whittaker. Throughout the year, Gary will mention at our board meetings about watching out for our senior citizens and those that live alone, especially during the winter months where snowfall could impact people being able to get in and out of their driveways, or during those hot, steamy summer days for people that are without air conditioning. As an example of how Gary takes care of those kinds of issues on a personal basis, there was a lady who became a widow over the winter time. And after a very warm and rainy spring, this lady's yard needed to be cut. And she went out to start her riding tractor, and it would not start. And because of that warm and rainy spring, there were lots of people that had already taken their mowers to their local repair shop to get fixed up. So she was told she was going to have to wait at least 2 to 3 weeks before her lawnmower riding tractor would even get touched. After a week or so, her grass was already a foot high. She called out to the township and was able to speak with Gary, expressed her dilemma, having lost her husband who usually took care of all those issues. Gary took one of his employees, and together they went out there and cut the grass for that lady. And that's just an example of the type of individual that Gary is, where he's willing to go out and help people. Because of his accessibility on the phone, I can't tell you the number of stories I've heard where people have reached out to him, shared problems and concerns, family issues, marital problems, financial woes, and Gary has been there to give advice and to help out, and lend a hand and be an ear. The last thing I want to talk about, just for the sake of time, even though Mr. Whitebird has graciously yielded some of his time for me, is the philanthropy of the Whittakers and what they've been able to do because of the success of Three Cedars Farm. Every year at the beginning of the fall season, Gary and Sherry open up Three Cedars Farm, the Big Red Barn, to the Salem Historical Society for their annual barn dance. And he ends up paying for a lot of additional expenses to make that event happen. I've do-si-doed there and swung my partner round and round for that square dance. And it's a great event, and the proceeds get generated to the Historical Society and Salem Community Events. Over the years, the Whittakers have contributed to dozens of charitable and nonprofit entities because of the success of Three Cedars Farm. And one of the organizations that they really specially take care of is Act of Faith. During the Christmas season, Three Cedars becomes a magical world where the barn is transformed, and there's an opportunity for families to come and have their picture taken with Santa and Mrs. Claus. Lots of people go to the malls and they stand in line for hours to get their picture taken with Santa Claus. There's very few places in this world where you can go and have Mrs. Claus in the picture as well. And because of the Christmas displays that are in place there, it's what I would call a miniature J.L. Hudson. For those that remember going to J.L. Hudson in downtown Detroit and seeing the Christmas displays there. They actually have transformed that barn, and it's a great way to see all the Christmas displays. In fact, one of the displays there is actually from J.L. Hudson in downtown Detroit. And hundreds and hundreds of people make it a yearly tradition to come out after Thanksgiving and just before Christmas Eve on the weekends to have their picture taken. People have made that a tradition. They don't go to the malls, they come to Salem Township, to Three Cedars Farm, and the proceeds that are given for those picture-taking opportunities are donated to Act of Faith. And the executive director has shared with me what a significant impact those funds have had for their organization over the years, helping put food on the shelves and keeping that operation going. So let me conclude with this. And since Gary's in the world of government, we'll do it in kind of a semi-formal resolution. Whereas we have examined the credentials of our honorees, and whereas it has been documented that his entrepreneurship in establishing an agritourism mecca, Three Cedars Farm, has made Salem Township a destination venue where memories are made for thousands of individuals and families every year. And whereas his community involvement as a civic leader and elected official has resolved conflicts and brought harmony to citizens within the township. And whereas his personal touch with individuals has earned him admiration and respect from those in need. And whereas his generous support of charitable organizations in the area, and most notably that of Act of Faith in South Lyon, has made a profound impact on the lives of those served by those entities. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the 2018 Kensington Valley Chamber of Commerce Citizen of the Year be awarded to my colleague, and most importantly, my good friend, the Supervisor of Salem Township. Please welcome Gary Whittaker.
All right, I'm not going to tell you about all the people that dislike me because of being in the township supervisor. No, really, I wanted just real quick, Dave, thanks for the nice comments, and also the chamber, thank you for doing this. It was quite exciting. Thanks for my family. You know, when you think of the farm and everything that goes on, I sure couldn't do it without my family, because they just pitch right in and
and my beautiful wife for 44 years. We really enjoyed it. And then I think of the township with our trustees. You know, John, I know you're supervisor of Lyon Township, and it's like, I am so grateful and thank God every day for the board and our engineers that are here today and our attorneys and planner. It's just, I don't know how to tell you what a great group of people and team working together. So thanks to everybody for being here and friends that are here today. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for everything.
I have to apologize. Normally we'd have a band that would take him right off once we get started. There's a reason they had that. And normally it's the people that are getting the award, not the presenter. But let's move things along. Next up, we have the Phoenix Award. This is an award that the Chamber presents to a member business that has overcome diversity and has resurrected a landmark business in our community. The Phoenix Award is a symbol of the possibility that exists in making a difference in promoting commerce and the well-being of the community. This is a business organization that has reinvented itself, its location or line of business, has had a unique success, has improved its business model, or has undergone a revitalization having special community impact. I would like to invite Sue White of Rockford Chimney to the podium to present the next award.
Thank you. I'd like to ask two of the three owners to come up here to receive the award from the South Lyon Hotel, Corey Bala and Chris Baker. I'm honored to give this award to the South Lyon Hotel. It's at least a couple times a week you can find me there. Having a couple glasses of wine and talking with my favorite bartenders. As all of you know, the South Lyon Hotel had a devastated fire in June of 2016. I do believe, watching all the comments on social media, our town was devastated. The South Lyon Hotel has been a famous landmark for years. Many of us have been frequenting the hotel not only for the great food, great service, but the family atmosphere and having friends, cocktails with friends. Well, as the community survived the time it took to rebuild the hotel, which was officially reopened in November of 2017. We can all imagine the hard work, many dedicated hours that it took to open the doors of the new South Lyon Hotel. Well, it is a wonderful landmark once again. The future plan of the hotel is to make improvements to the look of the building to make it feel like the old historical hotel. So I'd like to give you two Phoenix Awards. Congratulations.
So my goal is to talk just a little bit longer than David Trent. So you want to get a drink? Now's the time. Smoke them if you got them. Earlier when Ken was announcing everybody, he did give himself credit. Ken Elkins, Chamber President. Let's hear it for Ken. Good job. Keep it going. Good job, Andrea, for putting this together. This is awesome. Thank you. So, God, that was hard. 31 minutes. All right. You guys ever watch that show Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern?
love that show. I fall asleep to it whenever. This guy goes all over the place, all over the world, big cities, small, random corners of the world, and he talks about food and how it's part of their culture, and the growing theme always is that, you set language and culture aside, we're all people, and we all come together. I'm going to tie this all together for you, Dave. Food and drink and friendship is what brings everybody together. We're extremely lucky to have the South Lyon Hotel to be able to do that. We bring people together. Everybody says, oh, what's the secret? Is it good food or good music or good drinks? It's all of the above, but most importantly, we fill the parking lot. We bring people together, everybody laughs and cries and plays together, and we share. And that's what this is about, So realistically, this is a thank you to the community, not necessarily us, for all the support. I mean, I've told the stories before. We've had so many companies and individuals offer help. I mean, you've all heard the story, underinsured or this or that, whatever. We couldn't have done it without the help from everybody. So this award is for all of us. Having said that, chief among those people that helped us out, look at that table right there. Every one of those people could have gone, gotten a job. They're all very intelligent, qualified individuals, but they didn't. They stuck with it. We have a team. We're good at putting people together. That's what Chris and I do. We put people together, and we're very lucky to have the team. So, standing at 6'1", 230 pounds, Alex Gentile, our dining room manager. What is that?
That's your time.
Is that my time? We're gonna leave. That's it. David didn't get that. Next to him, an import from Poland. Camille brought the Polish night together for us. Standing at 5'8", 180-ish. Our chef, Camille Poplowski, give it up. Next to him, one of our managers, one of the people that was there every single day for almost $0, putting things together. She helps run the bar, she helps run the place. She's a manager, bartender, Summer Krause. Next to her, Jordan Dawson, I hired when he was 16 years old. How old are you now? 31. If that's not a testament to what we do at the hotel, is that awesome? He was just a little punk kid, a little football player. And look at him, he's all grown up. We're so proud of Jordan. Give it up. In addition to saying thank you, I'm going to wrap it up with, yesterday we had Chris Baker's birthday. Today we have Camila's birthday. Will you help me in singing, please? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Camille and Chris. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, our next award is the Lifetime Achievement Award. The Lifetime Achievement Award honors a lifetime of outstanding service and accomplishment, civic and business leadership. Please welcome Attorney Phil Weibert, our Oakland County Commissioner, to present the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thank you. Today it is a privilege to honor a person who really has provided a lifetime achievement service with civic. Lloyd Collins, could you come up, please? I'm going to make you stand here while I read about you. Lloyd's not Lloyd would not like a bunch of back there, but you're right. I would. You know Lloyd. Let me tell you about Lloyd. Lloyd has served as the chief of the South Lyon Police Department for over 20 years. Lloyd came to South Lyon in 1997. He and his wife Nancy loved the town so much they built a home in Trotters Point and decided to stay there and built a second larger home to raise the family. He is a certified firefighter. Having lived in Sylvan Lake, he was being part of the Tri-City Fire Department and the Farmington Hills Fire Department. He was previously employed at the Southfield Police Department, having retired as a deputy chief. While there as a deputy chief, he went to the fire academy, and at age 45, he graduated first in his class, ahead of all the youngsters. And so Chief Collins also has a Bachelor of Arts degree from Oakland University. Chief Collins holds a master's degree in criminal justice from the University of Detroit. He's a graduate of the FBI National Academy and a member of numerous professional organizations, including the International Association of the Chiefs of Police and the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police. He's currently serving as the interim city manager for the city of South Lyon and the police chief. He has performed those dual roles on numerous occasions. In our city, the chief has always stepped up when needed. And most of you might have already known a lot of that, but let me tell you what you don't know. He's been married to his wife, Nancy, sitting at the table, Nancy, 48 years. They've been together for 52 years. Lloyd went to Farmington High School. Nancy went to Our Lady of Sorrows. They met, the chief tells the story how they met at the Grand River Drive-In. What he leaves out is that he was working a security job in high school. And so he was destined to be a lifetime of police and fire service as a security guard, guarding the cars in the parking lot, keeping it safe. Lloyd and Nancy have two children, Tim and Kelly. Tim has an 18-month-old son. Kelly has 3 children. Both Lloyd and Nancy play active roles in raising those grandchildren and being involved in the grandchildren's lives. And with all of that, it's no wonder that Lloyd was chosen for the Chamber's Lifetime Achievement Award. And we all need to congratulate Lloyd for all he's done and all he's accomplished and all he's continued to do for the city of South Lyon and the South Lyon community. So thank you.
I'll set this down for a second. That's the shortest speech I've ever heard from Commissioner Whittaker. Now, here's the math. Mr. Trent was allotted 30 minutes. He took 28. Actually 28. I too am allotted 30 minutes. But Dale Carnegie taught me well. I'm only going to take 2. Probably less. Now, 48 years is a long time in law enforcement. If you count my cadet days at Oakland University Public Safety, I'm probably at 50 years now. You don't last that long in law enforcement and public service without a lot of support from family. So I want to thank my wife, Nancy, for putting up with me, for putting up with crazy schedules and missed holidays. I know a lot of you folks need to get back to work. I know there's 1 or 2 of you that probably want to get back to work. And I see about 22, 23 that have a tea time on the best course. So I just what I said, under 2 minutes. Thanks to the Chamber, and thank everybody for coming and supporting us.
Still on? Yeah. Thank you, Chief. I'd like to invite Marion and Mihly up to the podium while I read from the Active Faith website. Marianne? I saw you. There you are. Come on up. At the March meeting of the Board of Directors of Active Faith Community Services in South Lyon, the board regretfully accepted a letter of retirement from the Executive Director, Miriam, effective June of 2018. After 12 years of dedication to our community, she is looking forward to remaining in the area and spending more time with her family, making memories with her grandchildren, and seeing what God has in store for her future. Active Faith Community Services works with the residents in 86 square miles of the South Lyon School District. It was originally established as a food pantry and clothing closet over 30 years ago. And while it has never strayed from the original mission, as a result of Maryann's leadership, services to clients have been significantly refined and expanded to more effectively meet their changing needs. Among the many changes that have occurred because of Maryann's dedicated involvement are significant upgrades to the facility, technological updates to better serve the clients, changes in the internal processes that have streamlined services, and an increase in community awareness of the program's needs and for the constituent. We'd like to take the opportunity to honor you, Maryann, and thank you for so many years of dedicated service to our community. And Ken's presented you some very nice flowers.
Okay, I'm going to take a little break here real quickly. If